Hello ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm your host AirsoftAL. I did say I'd be making a video talking about this in the, of course, update in the information video about the coming event that I'm hosting alongside Tupelo Airsoft Club. The Loadout, of course, is one that I have been wanting to do for a long time. And now that I have the service rifle, which is right behind me, that Loadout may be coming true much faster than you may think. Now, of course, everyone knows about the NCR Rangers. And yes, everyone knows about them, considering how popular they are. But no one ever knows or gives love to the humble trooper. The one who is the mainline, frontline soldier for the NCR. Not a lot of love given to him. Not me. I have and always will love the humble soldier. The humble foot soldier, the humble sergeant, the captain, the lieutenant, the corporal, the private first class. I love them all. And as such, this loadout will be one that I am putting together because, again, this is a, what if I was in the Mojave Wasteland putting together this loadout, or at least this is my loadout. Let's start with the standard issue kit. Now, in terms of the main rifle, I do have, of course, the service rifle kit, which was made by my buddy, Ben Scott. His Facebook will be down below. Ben outdid himself with this, and the internals is a JG gearbox. The lower and upper, of course, are from a SEMA M16A1. The stock is SEMA, handguard SEMA, barrel SEMA. Except for this is JG. This is a tough Picatinny rail system, so I can actually put lights and lasers on here for the night game. Now, I will be trying to get more VN-style mid-cap magazines in the future. But overall, this is 100% service rifle. And if you guys want to have your very own service rifle, or at least your handguards painted, your handguard stock, and of course your pistol grip, in a wood color, then consider, of course, contacting Ben Scott. Now, let's say I want to get a little bit up close and personal. Well, I have, of course, the assault carbine. Now, this assault carbine is based off of course, a Black Ops Viper body. It is using a Double Eagle gearbox, which I've upgraded myself from the Double Eagle 2-in-1 M4. So, yeah, one of those things. I might swap this out for another gearbox in the future if I ever do get a gearbox, which is front-wired. But for now, I'm using the Double Eagle 2-in-1 gearbox. I might try and swap out the spring in the future, but that's a big fucking if. The other thing, of course, is I will be using 30-round style magazines. Or, no, if I can in the future, get 30-round style mid-caps, as in the steel style here, not the tactical, you know, P-mags. I want to try and be as close to in-game as possible. But again, it's a... I'm probably going to be using a lot of high caps with these since I will be using this in, of course, the standard assault carbine style of full auto, because the assault carbine in-game is full auto only, not semi-automatic, unlike the service rifle, which is semi-automatic. Now, in terms of rails, I do have the tough rail system on here for, once again, my need of lights and lasers. Again, that's if, you know, one of those things. Now we get to the fun part a bit. The loadout itself, the main loadout. And the main loadout is, of course, going to be a combination of Rothko BDU tops and bottoms in khaki, a pith helmet, Rothko once again, and, of course, Rothko boots. However, if I do not have Rothko brown boots, then I'll try and find some brown boots in the future, cheap, or, you know, at least go for some basic black boots, or, again, trying to find something basic. Now, for my hands, this is where something gets kind of fun. In the lore, the NCR trooper actually uses fingerless leather gloves. Now, don't get me wrong, I like fingerless, but in terms of my own protection, I think I want to go with something a little bit more substantial. So I'm going to go with these. These are faux leather, hard-knuckle, arm braces, more or less, or bracers, I guess. I think that's the name of them. Bracers? braces? Anyway, basically arm guards, with of course built-in hard knuckles. Because if I'm going fingerless, then I at least want something to protect my palm and knuckles. Now I may of course incorporate maybe a glove into it, or maybe like a leather glove, or a simple like cloth glove, something that kind of helps out. But in my mind, because of course being issued the body armor, which we will get to in a second, I want to be able to protect my arms and hands a little bit better when out in the waste. So that's kind of what I'm going with. I'm going with them in brown because that is also the same color as the leather fingerless gloves. Now, in terms of the body armor, this is where things get kind of complicated, folks, because I am talking with a friend of mine, Joseph, who I believe is the one who is, of course, the Mandalorian, who you've seen all the time in my convention footage, either TupeloCon or CorinthCon. He's really cool, really awesome, and I asked him if he could be able to help me out, make some body armor. Now, if he can help me out, I'm hoping the body armor, of course, is at least accurate to the NCR armor, which is a big leather piece of armor. I don't know exactly what it is in terms of actual like bulletproof armor or what exactly. All I know is that the NCR armor is either leather armor or is a type of fabric armor that's sort of like Kevlar or something. Again, something like that. I don't know exactly, but you know, one of those things. Moving on, of course, to the belt. The belt is something that's actually kind of cool and something that, again, I was very happy to find. Now, the belt I'm using, of course, is a honest-to-God military surplus gun belt. This is an LC1 belt, and what I'm doing is actually looking at the belt on the Fallout 4 model, which is, again, much more accurate to the Fallout New Vegas model for the NCR Trooper. But from what I found, the model itself is they have the canteen in the front, along with a medical bag or some other kind of bag there. Behind it, of course, is a bag for either a gas mask or some sort of utility pouch, along with other magazine pouches, and of course the the pistol pouches, the pistol holster as well. Now, this, of course, once again, is not fully completed. I'm hoping to get the actual pouches in soon. I'm going to be getting some 20-round magazine pouches, which, of course, are single-use pouches. Again, I'm not complete yet with this belt. But, again, I'm still working on it, and hopefully I can get some cool stuff in for this belt. But, you know, again, I'm seeing what I can do with what I got. Hopefully I will have all the pouches and stuff in before TupeloCon, and of course before the event itself. Now, in terms of the pistol itself, this is where a lot of people are going to get upset with me, but I have my reasons. Now, originally for the holster, I was going to go with the M12 holster here, but then I really started thinking about it and started looking at, of course, once again, this picture, and even, of course, the original New Vegas one. And my mind started looking at it, and I realized I shouldn't be lazy about something that I'm very passionate about. So, I started looking and came to a realization the holster they have is, of course, the Browning High Power holster. But the only Browning High Power we have is from Evike, and there's 2 versions of it. Not only that, but they're not CO2. And worse yet, they're kind of out of my price range and not on Amazon, since a lot of this stuff is being sourced on Amazon. So with that in mind, I started really thinking about what kind of sidearm do I want. Since I couldn't get the Browning High Power, i.e. the 9mm pistol, I decided to really look on Amazon and realize that the other model that's in New Vegas from, of course, the Honest Hearts DLC, the other model on Amazon that is available is none other than, of course, the 1911, i.e. the Honest Hearts 45 Auto. And believe me, this was one of those guns that I love because, again, it's a 1911. However, the one I have here in my hand is the STI from KJW. And, of course, when I started looking at this, I realized I cannot use this one because it's not the same model as what we saw in-game. It's really not, sadly. So that took me once again to Amazon to start looking and scouring the list to find the perfect handgun. And I found the 45 Auto that I wanted to use. That being the Windgun 1911, and I've had experiences with Windgun in the past. They're reliable, I haven't never had a jam on them, they've worked for me always, and I looked at it, and then I looked at the model from Fallout New Vegas from Honest Hearts and realized this is my 45 auto. And then of course I went and found a holster that will work with the gun belt and said, this is it. And again, it's true. Because the simple fact is, I can actually afford it once I start building up the money again, or I can just simply put this on my birthday list. And believe me when I say that this legitimately is something I can actually do. Not only that, but I can actually take this gun, sand it down a bit, apply some gunmetal paint to it, and bada bing bada boom, baby! I have the 45 auto from Honest Hearts. And again, that is something that is really good. Simply put, the reason I went with the 45 instead of the 9mm is because, well, the 45 auto in-game, even with the silencer, still has a substantial amount of damage, and is honestly kind of better than the 9mm. Now, I know everyone's going to argue that in the comments section, but that's my personal opinion. That, and I just love 1911s. I'm a 1911 guy, I love the 1911. Through thick and thin, I do love it. So that is kind of what I'm doing for the sidearm. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my NCR loadout. Again, it is something that I'm going to try to build up in the future, or at least try to build up as much as I possibly can. Because again, this is something I'm going to do. Now, before I forget, of course, I am going to try and get a red beret. I cannot promise, of course, having the NCR patch, the first recon patch, because that's on Etsy, not Amazon. However, what I will promise, of course, is having the NCR flag patch, the one that's able to be sewed on to the shirt itself. So I am going to try and have that. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's one of those things. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments section down below. If you yourself are a fellow cosplayer and have actually built your own NCR loadout, let me know in the comments section down below what I can do to improve upon it, what other cheaper methods are there to actually acquire some of this stuff, and how much more money do I need to save up before I can officially say it's done. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, but if you want to help out in, of course, building this loadout, consider donating to the PayPal down below. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL, and I shall see all you lovely, lovely people in the next video. Till next time. And I will try and link everything down below. No promises. No promises. Till next time, folks.